Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and a pretty good Monday. I know Mondays are kind of hit and miss. I hope you had a good one regardless. You survived, right? You made it through Monday. And now it's Tuesday, and here we are, and we are all together, and it is awesome. So let's chat. I do have a project for you guys coming up here in just a second, but I do have lots of things to tell you about. So if you come in late, you might want to go back to the beginning of this so that you don't miss out on any of the announcements. But first and foremost, I want to say hello to all my beautiful friends. Hello, Anita. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Susie. Hey, Sandy. Mary is here. Laurie is here. I love it. I love it. So many familiar faces. It always just makes me feel like I'm just pulling up to the table with a bunch of friends, right? That's how I always want things to feel around here. Always. It is always a pleasure to see all of you. Hi, Brandy. How are you? Hi, Sherry. Gina's here. Hello, my love. Miss Gina. All right. So we're going to get into things here. We don't have quite a full house yet, but I'm hoping that everybody will go back and rewatch to maybe see what I have to say. Not that it necessarily applies to everybody, but I do have some things to talk about. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk. All right. So first things first, we are going to not have any lives next week. Does not affect this week. So Feel Good Friday will still happen on Friday as normal. But next week, and I'll remind you again of this on Friday, but next week I will be on a mission. I will be on an Art Beads mission to bring more beady goodness to the world. And so there will not be any lives next week at all. I will be in Florida. I will try to take some behind the scenes pictures, behind the scenes pictures, and post as much as I can to give you guys some little teasers about what might be coming your way. But I will be in Clearwater, Florida. Now, a lot of you think, oh, that means she's going to HSN. I'm not. I promise. I know that HSN is there in Clearwater, but that's not where we're going. So, and it's not just me. It's me and the Art Beads team, plus Ari. Ari is coming with us as well. Ari's got a job to do for Art Beads while she is on this trip with us. So we are going to, what shall I say? We're going to do some fun things, and you will see. You'll get to see all of what that is as soon as it's ready to be unveiled to the public. It's going to be fun. Just know that no lives next week because I am on a mission for work doing beady things. So that's the plan for next week. And again, we'll post again to let you guys know, just reminders, because it never fails. Somebody shows up on Friday and they're like, where are you? And I won't be here. So let's see. Yeah, it's really exciting that Ari gets to go. It's really cool. She is just right place, right time for her. I always the right place because she's with me. But I mean, right time is in with me being already working and associating with Art Beads very heavily, and her kind of coming into her own makerness, I guess, if you will, her own creativity right at the perfect time, because her age group, that whole demographic of teenagers, is really what we're always trying to get our fingers on and grab a hold of, that age group, because those are our future makers, right? Because when we're all done, where are the next makers coming from? So that's why it's really important to have Ari, and her love for jewelry making is just kind of blossomed at the perfect time. So yeah, super excited that she gets to go, and this is her first time getting to see the ocean, so that's pretty cool too. But all right, so that is for next week. No lives next week, but I will be right back to normal schedule as soon as I get back, and I'll post as many pictures as I can without giving away too much. So y'all, look at my sparkly cup. Okay. So other things, had to get some water from the other things. Second thing to tell you guys is everybody has been asking and asking and asking about snack shenanigans. I have not done a snack shenanigans in so long. It has been over a year since our last snack. It's been almost 2 years since our last snack shenanigans. Now, the reason that I haven't done the snack shenanigans is, just being honest with you guys, it's an expense. It's an extra expense. It costs a lot of money for me out of my pocket to order all of those snacks and have them sent here for just 1 hour worth of hilarity. I promise. But yeah, it's an expense. So I had a conversation with some of our community members here, and they suggested perhaps I should do an Amazon wish list and leave it up to everybody in the community to contribute. That way, I don't have to drop a whole lot of money on getting these crazy snacks. I at first was like, I don't like that idea because I feel like I'm asking for handouts from my community, and that's just kind of I don't know, something about it feels kind of icky. But I thought it over, had some more conversations, and have decided that, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I am planning a new snack shenanigans coming very, very soon. I have created an Amazon wish list that has all kinds of crazy snacks on it. I'm not the only person who worked on the list. So if you see really bizarre things on it, well, I mean, it's supposed to have really bizarre things on it, but look through the list. And if you would like to, and you don't have to, okay, but if you would like to contribute to the snack shenanigans, there's a whole list of snack shenanigan items on the Amazon wish list that is going to be posted here. That is also going to be posted in the community group. So if you need to get to that link, you can either click on it here, click on it there, or you can ask one of the team members to give it to you, and they'll be happy to give it to you. Carol says, I don't remember this. You don't remember any of them, or you don't remember the last one that I did? So for those of you who don't know what snack shenanigans is, it's something that I used to do on a pretty regular basis. I think I've done 5 or 6 of them. And it is basically something that was it actually started during COVID. I'm pretty sure we did it towards the tail end of COVID, where we just needed something to break up the monotony, right? Life was very, very serious. And here we are again, life is feeling very serious. Life was very serious. And so we wanted to do something that was not jewelry related, but was still fun and entertaining, and was something that I could do live. And I have absolutely no problem eating gross things. I've eaten a tarantula. I've eaten a 100-year-old egg. I have eaten durian fruit. I have eaten Vegemite. You name it, I've eaten it. And it happened on a Snack Shenanigans live. So I haven't done those in a very, very long time. They're so funny. It is really, it's just for fun. So again, I haven't done it in a really long time because it's expensive. Like some of the things that I have ordered in the past have really cost a lot of money. So in order to kind of take the weight off of my shoulders, I'm going to do an Amazon wish list. So if you guys would like to contribute to the next Snack Shenanigans, feel free to. You don't have to. I'm going to do it either way, but this definitely kind of takes some of the burden off, and you get the satisfaction of knowing that you purchased it and you get to watch me eat it. So do with that as you will. All right. So now let's talk about something else that is just as ridiculous as Snack Shenanigans. And I honestly was not going to, Patricia says, can they be replayed on Facebook? They're over on my YouTube channel, right here where you are on YouTube. They're here. You can go and look at them right now. You can rewatch all of them. They're hilarious. So let's see. I was not going to address this. I know a lot of you are like, can we just get through the talking and get to the good part? We can here in just a second, but I can't leave this. I just can't. Maybe I'm being petty, but petty meets petty. Okay. I was not going to address this at all. But as I was putting on my makeup today, I was like, you know what? I'm going to say something. This person does not deserve the breath that it is going to take for me to say all of this, but I'm going to say it anyway, because I know there are some of you here in the comment section that saw it. So I would like to address two things, two stinking rumors that are going on around about me in the community. And these rumors were created in the mind of somebody who quite literally has nothing better to do with her time. And if you know who I'm talking about, this person does nothing but cause trouble and troll. But and if they're not here, would you please go tell them? Go tell them. You know who I'm talking about. However, this person started a rumor in a different community group, might I add, that I had ran off and gotten married and that I was pregnant because I wear a ring on my hand that is a brand new wedding ring, and I wear big, bulky, loose clothes because apparently I'm pregnant. Okay, well, first of all, I have so many things to say. But first, I want to start out with, if this is your idea of a salacious and just wild rumor, when did those two things become something that was like scandalous? When? Second of all, okay, cannot believe I'm addressing any of these things. Second of all, listen, great thing about being an adult. I'm an adult. You're an adult. You should probably act like one. But I'm an adult. Great thing about an adult is that I can do what I want whenever I want. It doesn't matter. I don't have to answer to anybody, which means I can wear whatever rings I want to on whatever fingers I want to, whenever I want to. I can wear my grandmother's pearl. I can wear my mom's wedding ring. I can wear my mom's wedding band. I can put rings on my wedding fingers. I can quite literally wear rings on my toes and in my hair. I can wear rings, whatever rings I want to, whenever I want to. And you know what's awesome? So can you. Because you know what? You're an adult. You can do what you want. Second of all, addressing this pregnancy thing. Now, maybe, just maybe, it is 20 degrees in this office and it's cold, and a lot of times I wear a sweatshirt, sometimes in the summertime. Maybe I like to wear big comfy clothes because I work from home and I can do that. Or maybe, just maybe, and this is wild, totally wild, maybe it's none of your business. I'm just saying. Maybe you need to find something else to do, somebody else to talk about. Really? Thirdly, if I had gotten married and if I were pregnant, don't you think I would tell you guys? I tell you guys everything. I would tell you guys. It would be a huge thing. If I were throwing a wedding, you guys, listen, it would be the biggest thing that has happened in this entire community since I don't know when. So trust me, if and when those things ever do happen, I will certainly let you guys know that. But to the person who is out there spreading those rumors around, listen, if that's the best you can do, you need to go back to school and study hanging out with the mean girls, because that is nothing. That is nothing. And I think that it is quite hilarious that you have nothing else better to do with your time. So you know who you are. Go find somewhere else to spread drama, or what you think is drama. Okay? Because the rest of us are just like, whatever. Moving on. All right. That's the last time I'm going to address this person because they do not deserve it. So anyway, let's get on with the show. I'm putting together a really fun bracelet, and I want to tell you about this bracelet. So this is not anything new. We're doing things that, right, Carol, I would consider a baby a blessing. So, I mean, what? Send me your snow. Send me your babies. Send me. I'm good with all the things. I would be excited. So anyway, I'm putting together a bracelet today that is not hard, right? It is not a hard project. These are things that we have done before, but I'm doing it because number one, it's a really cool project for summer. And also because I'm going to make these into kits for our Feel Good Friday show. And you need this video to come back to rewatch. And it's a little bit longer than just a regular, a regular Feel Good Friday little shortened version of a project. So we're going to do the whole thing today. And then I'm going to have them as kits, probably a little bit different configuration, but for the Feel Good Friday show. So, all right, let's get into it, shall we? I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to show you the sample and then we're going to get right into the project. So, thank you, Gail. All right. So, this is the bracelet that we're making. So we're taking some beautiful leather. I need to adjust the lights in here. It feels very dark. It is quite bright and sunny today, but it's feeling kind of okay. So anyway, we are taking some leather and we are doubling it up, and then we are doing some macrame. And with our macrame, we are adding beads to the outside edge all the way down, finishing it off with some macrame, and then we are adding some dangles because you guys know I love dangles, and then going to put a button on. Okay. So we are going to do this in a different color. So what actually started this was I was on the hunt for leather in my office, looking all around because I have leather in various places. And I found this one and I was like, ooh, this is really pretty. I don't have a lot of it, but this would make a really cool base for a bracelet. It's kind of like pearlescent. Words are hard. It has this really cool shimmery sheen to it. So this is what we're going to be using for the base. So I did this one in blue. We're going to do this one in this like cool pearly color. And I have way more than I need for this. And I know somebody's going to ask about a measurement. Let's see. I'm going to lift it up, lift the camera up a little bit. Oops. No, the comment wasn't in this group. It was in a friend of mine's group. And when she saw it, a bunch of people had already commented on it and then she deleted it. So it's gone. You can't see it, but it's okay. This person rears her head time to time with nonsense. So I'm sure this won't be the last time you see her. She'll probably get really mad that I said something about it and have something else to say nasty about me, but that's okay. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead. I got more important things to do. Okay. So the bracelet overall, when it is finished, this one was 7.5 inches, which is what I normally go for. But the leather part of this, you need it to be kind of long. So I'm going to suggest that you cut about 20 inches of leather. Now, if you need a longer bracelet, you might even want to do more than that, because remember, you're going to have to tie a couple of knots, and that always takes up some of your your space on your leather. So be sure you give yourself plenty. I'm going to use my tying station, but you can use literally anything to secure your work. You can just use a piece of tape it down to your work surface, whatever you need to do. But I'm going to find the middle, okay, and hook that over the peg. Then I'm going to put the plate back over it and tighten that down. Tell her I had twins. Totally. I mean, I was going to say, you know what? Maybe I'm just fat. I mean, I'm not, but I mean, if you are that interested, like, maybe I'm just fat. Okay. And then what are you going to say? Wow, I'm sorry. Really? Are you going to be? Just come on. All right. And just for the record, I have rings on almost all my fingers, and I mix and match them whenever I feel like it. And this wedding band you see, that's my mom's. So whatever. Not that I owe anybody any explanations, but come on. Okay. Now I'm going to secure my two ends down here. And I'm going to tighten that down. The leather size of the leather, 1.5 millimeter, 2 millimeter, even 3 millimeter will work. I'm using 2 millimeter. It's kind of chunky, which is why I'm not using my brown. I kind of wanted that chunky leather. I wanted to have a good wide surface to work with. Okay, so now I'm going to be using some Amite cord and this teal color. And you can grab this on Art Beads. This one is, it's not an official color on here. But the Amite comes in a lot of different colors. I guess it's Amite 07 if you're going to look for this color. But it comes in a lot of different colors. You don't have to use Amite, though. You can use hemp. You can use cotton cord. You can use Eslon. You can use Belon. You can use silk thread. You can use literally anything. But I like the Amite because it's a little stiff and it's not nearly as slippery as the Belon, or I'm sorry, the Eslon. I love Eslon because it comes in a ton of different colors, but it is a little on the slippery side. Now, I'm going to need about 6 feet. I know that sounds like a lot, but we're going to be using it from the center outward. So it really only ends up being 3 feet on each side. Ooh. All right. So I'm going to take my cord. I'm going to bring my 2 ends together so I can find the middle. Okay. And I'm going to take that middle and I'm going to put it underneath my leather. Okay. And I'm going to tie a square knot. And you guys have seen me do lots and lots and lots of square knots. But if you need a refresher, we're gonna go nice and slow. Okay. So with square knots, it happens in 2 steps. And everything you do on the right, you do on the left. Okay. So step 1, creating a P shape with your cord over the top of your core. When I refer to the core, I'm talking about our leather cord here. Okay, so I'm making a P shape just like this. Then I'm going to take my left cord and cross over that. Now my thumb is in the way right now because I'm kind of holding everything in place until we get this first knot done. And then I'm going to go behind the core and up through the P shape on the right side, and then I'm going to pull. Okay, and I'm going to slide that up here and tighten that down. Okay, and then I'm going to repeat that because that's step 1. Step 2 is going to be the same thing but on the left. So backwards P shape going across the core, right cord crosses over that and then goes behind and up through. And then pull. And that is your square knot. Okay. Now you're going to see it a bunch of different times. So don't worry. The first one is always the trickiest just because you kind of have to hold on to it till you get it secure. But we're going to do several more. Okay. So P shape on the right. Left cord crosses over, goes behind and up through. Thank you, Steph. All right. Left cord, backwards P shape across the core. Right cord crosses over that, goes behind and up through. And then pull. Okay. That makes 2. All right. We're going to do 10 of these. Okay. So P shape on the right, left cord, make sure that it crosses over the top of that cord. Okay. So it crosses over it out here, and then you go behind the core and up through the P shape that you made and pull. Then you're going to do the same thing on the left, backwards P shape, right cord crosses over the top of that, and then you go behind and up through and pull. Okay. So that was 3. And I'm going to speed up a little bit. That's 4. I love macrame too. So much. This will make 5. This will be 6. Okay. 7. 8. 'Alright, let's take a look. All right, now for those of you who are curious as to how you count your knots once you've already created them, we count the bumps, and I count the bumps always on the right side. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you don't have a completed bump over here, then that means you walked away or got up or stopped when you did just the right side and you hadn't completed the left yet. So just in case you have to get up and walk away or whatever, and you come back and you're in mid knot, now you'll know. All right, let's do 2 more, and then we're going to start adding some beads to this. And adding beads to this, I'm going to make life a little bit easier by preloading my cord. So normally I only preload if I am putting beads on the center cord, but for this project, where the beads are going to go on our outer knotting cords, I'm going to load up the knotting cords, which I normally don't do, but all right, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're ready to move on. If you need a shorter bracelet, maybe do less knots here. If you need a longer bracelet, you can do more knots here. The important, yeah, that's the that's the dog snoring. Sherry says, is the puppy sleeping? Yep. You can always adjust here, or you can adjust the part where you have the beads too. It is totally up to you. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some size 8 seed beads, and I'm going to put, how many did I do on this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I'm going to do 21 because that one needed a couple of extra beads. So I'm going to do 21 on both strands. So I'm going to take my right cord here and I'm going to thread on 21 seed beads. Okay, there's 10. Okay. You're snoring loud. All right, so there's 21 on this side. And I know this is kind of time consuming, but trust me, it's worth it to do this part now. All right, now I'm going to take my cord and I'm going to tie a knot on the end of it down here at the end, just so that my beads don't slip off. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other one. So just bear with me here. Okay, there's 10. So we're getting there. Okay, there's 10 and one more. All right, so there's all of those. And now I'm going to tie an overhanded knot. You know what I think is funny? I sit here thinking as I'm loading these beads on, I'm thinking about, first of all, this is not the first rumor that's gone on about me out there in the community, and that's fine. Um, I think when people spread rumors about other people, it says more about them than what it says about the person they're spreading the rumors about. And I always hold that to be true because I know my truth. And it definitely says more about the person gossiping and making things up. But I just can't help but wonder. Like, I try not to take it personally because I'm a good person and I don't talk about other people. I don't gossip. I don't lie, and I don't, you know, I don't suffer fools either, though. I just don't put up with things like that, and I don't normally address it. But I'm a good person. Like, go pick on somebody else. Go pick on somebody who picks on people. Don't pick on me. I'm a good person. I spread love and joy and happiness and kindness. And come on. Okay. Anyway, like I said, more about the person that's spreading things than about me. That's for sure, because, whatever. Okay. Now we are going to drop one bead down at a time, right? So these beads are going to sit on the outside edge. So don't try to force them to lay on top, because that's not where they're going to go. They are quite literally going to sit on that outer edge and just add a little touch of sparkle to the outside of your bracelet. You're going to proceed exactly the same way as you would without the beads. So same steps, okay? P shape on the right, left cord crosses over, goes behind and up through. Now just be mindful that when you pull this through, you've got a whole bunch of beads on the end. Okay, so you want to make sure that your loops are nice and big so that all your beads will fit through there. And then pull. And then you're going to finish off with the left side of that. So you're going to P shape on the left, right cord crosses over, goes behind and up through. And then pull. And that sets those beautiful beads in place. Now you could use literally any color bead you wanted to here. You could add crystals. You could do, I'm using size 6s, but you could use size 8s. You could use 2mm, 3mm, 4mm beads of any variety. Okay. All right. Now, as for how many knots I'm going to do in between, I'm going to do 2. So this first knot was to secure our beads. I'm going to do a second knot with nothing. You are so right, Sherry. You're so right. Okay, and then pull. And then left side of that. So backwards P shape, right cord crosses over, goes behind and up through, and pull. Now, you don't have to do 2 knots in between. You can just go, beads and knots, beads and knots. But I kind of liked it because I really want the cord to be part of the design. And I love the kind of zigzag pattern that it adds to this. So I definitely wanted to do at least, but you can most definitely do as many as you want or as few as you want in between there. All right, now I'm going to grab my cord here and I'm going to slide down a bead on the right. And then I'm going to slide down a bead on the left, right? And then we're going to knot. I love it, Susie. Let's all spread rumors about fantastic, wonderful things happening, because I mean, those would be two fantastic, wonderful things. So, yeah, I love it. Susie says, spreading rumors about happy things happening in your life. Here's my new Sarah rumor. She won the lottery and she'll be giving her Feel Good Friday beads away for free going forward. I love it. I love it. Wouldn't that be awesome? Oh my gosh. All right. And then I'm going to do another knot with nothing on it. Just got to be mindful of those beads as you're pulling them through. Okay. All right. Now, after this one, I'm going to speed up a bit because I really do want to get through all of this. So now that we have the pattern, okay, I'm going to just keep on going until we get all the beads on, or at least as far as we can get without everybody falling asleep on me. Okay. So, oh, all right. Set those beads in place and then lock them in with the second step of that knot. Now, don't forget the second step of the knot, right? Don't forget it, because if you don't and you just move on, you're going to notice that you're going to start to have kind of a twist in your design. And in order for these knots to lay flat, they got to have the right side and the left side done. So don't leave it out. Yes, please, y'all hit that thumbs up button if you don't care. It just takes a second out of your time, and it really helps our algorithm on YouTube to spread this video to reach much, much more people to add to our community. Makers who don't know about us yet, don't know how awesome we are. All right, moving along. I love the combination of this pearl colored leather with the teal. I think it's such a nice combination for spring. Really think that that's quite pretty. All right, dropping down the next bead. It's so much easier to preload your cord with the beads than it is to sit here and after every little section stopping to pick up beads. So definitely do yourself a favor if you're going to do this. Add the beads in advance so that you don't have to stop and start. I'm using 2mm leather, but you can use 1.5 up to 3. I mean, you can use even more than that if you wanted to. You can also use flat. So if you wanted to use like a flat suede lace, you could use a flat suede lace for this. The only thing about using the flat suede lace is that you need to be sure that you're using a flat leather that is nice and stiff, because if it's too soft, like the deerskin ones, it just won't hold up. When you go to pull your knots, it'll crumple in the middle. So you definitely can do this on a flat leather. It just needs to have a little structure. Also, you can do this on quite literally anything, but if you have flat artistic wire, you can do this on flat artistic wire and it looks awesome. So I know one time Susie was asking about, she needed inspiration for things to do with her flat wire. This is another one of those things that you can do that is really, really cool. So it makes a really nice bangle bracelet if you do this onto flat leather, or I'm sorry, flat wire. My goodness. And if you wanted to get really intricate with it, you could do this on flat wire, and you could use thin gauge artistic wire, like 26 or 28 gauge, to do your knotting. and the whole thing could be made with wire. I'm afraid that I'm going to run out of cord. I don't think I cut myself a long enough piece, but we'll see. We'll see how far we get with what we have here. So just dropping down my beads each time. I really don't think I have cut enough, which is unfortunate because I wanted this to be a finished piece. Jan, I don't know for sure the size of this, so I'm using Amiet. Let's see. There's all the information on there. It's 20 meters, 22 yards. I don't think it has the size. It doesn't. I'm not sure. But you can use whatever you want as long as it will fit through your beads. That's the biggest thing. So if you're going to incorporate beads, you want to be sure that your cord will fit through your bead hole. However, the Amiet and the Eslon will fit through a lot of beads. So it's nice and thin. But you could use large hole beads here if you wanted to, and use something thicker. I just really like the Amiet because number one, it's a little stiffer than the Eslon, and it doesn't fray nearly as easily. It still will fray at the end, but I find that it does not fray nearly as quickly. Amiet, A-M-I-E-T. It's made by Toho. I don't know what the Toho people do with it, but I like to use it for knotting. But I think you can use it for anything, really. I like to use it for knotting and for stringing. It's good stuff, and it comes in a lot of different colors, like the Eslon does. It doesn't have quite as many color options as Eslon, but I'm okay with the color choices that are available because they're all really pretty. There's some really pretty pinks and purples. Could you use small gauge leather for the knotting? Yes, you could. I really love small gauge leather. So if you wanted to use like a 0.5 leather for this, you could. The only thing that I caution about using the thin leather is don't be like me and pull too hard, because the thin leathers have a tendency, if you pull too, like if you just tug on it too much, it'll break. So just be gentle if you're going to use the leather, but I think it would be beautiful. I see a lot of you guys are talking about grabbing like some of this cord or a tying station. If you don't have one, I have an affiliate link with Art Beads. You don't have to use it, but you are more than welcome to anytime you want to make purchases with Art Beads. And like, you don't have to buy from Art Beads either. I'm just saying. But if you wanted to use the affiliate link, I get a small commission back. It's not a lot, but the most important thing is that I get credit for the sales. So the Art Beads can see that I directed a customer that way, which obviously looks pretty good. So like last week, exactly. I've been known to break a project in more ways than one. Set it on fire, pull it too tight, snaps on me. I mean, all the things. I've done all the things. And yeah, my cord's getting a little short, and we're only halfway. Starting to stress me out a little bit because I really don't think I'm going to have enough cord to get the full length of this bracelet, but I will show you all the steps. Even if it's not the full size, I will show you all the steps. So no worries. I thought I had cut enough, but I didn't. So take that into consideration when you're doing your own project. Be sure that, I know 6 feet seems like a lot, maybe more like 8 feet. probably would have been better for me. But you definitely want to be sure that you cut more cord than you think you need, because it does take a lot to make these knots. I know that they're small, but it really does take a lot. So we're going to end up with the mini sized bracelet here, which is all right. I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to add one more set of beads, and then we're going to pretend like this is long enough. Okay, so this will be my last set with the beads on the outer edges. Please keep going, even though I didn't. Yeah, arm span 2.5 times. That should get you for sure. Okay, so to finish this off, we're going to finish the same way that we started. So we're going to finish off with just a series. You can see how pretty this was looking. I wish that I had enough cord. I am going to redo this because I want this to be a finished piece with the correct length. So I was actually making this for myself. So I know it's not going to be big enough. It's probably not going to be big enough for many people. This is pretty tiny, but we're going to finish the same way we started, with 10 knots that don't have beads. So what you're going to want to do when you're looking at your measuring, now this is a bad example since we're stopping at 5 inches here, but if I need a 7.5 inch bracelet, we're going to take into consideration that this right here, 10 knots, is going to give you an inch. Okay, so that's going to be an inch at the last knot. At the last set of beads, you're going to add 1 more inch. Okay, so when we finish our knotting, that's going to put us at 6 inches, right? Then I have to tie an overhanded knot, add a button, and another overhanded knot. That's going to put us at about 7 inches. That's still short for this bracelet because I needed it to be 7.5 inches. Your macrame section is 1 inch. Your knots and your button, depending on the size of your button, that's also going to be another inch. Okay, so that's 2 inches at the end of your bracelet. So in other words, don't take your beads right up to the length that you need. You need it to stop at least 2 inches from what you actually need your bracelet length to be. Okay, so question, what was the question? Let's see, can't you add more cord? I'm not entirely sure how. As much as I have mastered macrame, and I've done way more than just square knots, macrame has been a love of mine for a very, very long time. I could melt cord onto the end of this because this is a meltable cord. So I could take 2 pieces of cord, I could melt the ends and put them together. However, I don't trust doing that, just because at some point, if that were to pull, it could come undone. And I don't like the thought of that. It's not as easy as like your other kinds of projects like bead weaving, where, you know, you just throw in another piece of wire and you can make it look seamless. Or if you're stitching with beads and you can go back through and knot and tie on another strand. There's no way to really tie on another strand here without it looking very obvious that you tied on another strand. So, I mean, the alternative to this would be you could flip this around this direction, and you could come in, you could start a new cord and come this direction and meet up with what you've got here. That's pretty much the only way to seamlessly do that. The problem is that you got to be really precise in your measurements in order to do that. And I'm not entirely sure what my measurements need to be. You saw a slip knot. Does that work? I don't know how to do that. I wish I did. And now I'm kind of wondering, like, maybe we should maybe we should add a new cord in here by coming in the other direction. We only have 10 minutes though. I wonder what that would do. No, I'm going to leave it as it is, but I'm pretty sure that if you come from this direction, let's say I started a new cord right here and I knotted this direction to meet up with, I could finish it off with a new cord, right? I would just have to make sure that I added my beads, and you melt your ends and tap them down. So you could technically, I think, do that with 2 cords. But yeah, okay. So finishing off here with knots. So I already have 2. We're going to try to get 8 more. I don't know if we'll have enough cord to do that, but we're going to do our best. You are very, very welcome. One of my cords, so I didn't put mine directly in the center. So one of my finishing cords, or my knotting cords, is shorter than the other one. So that's kind of causing a little bit of a challenge here, because I think on one side I have enough, but on this other side I don't. Put a focal bead and add from the opposite end. That's a good idea too. Yeah, I think there's lots of ways that you can fix it, or you can make up for it. But I think that probably the best thing to do is to start with enough cord in the beginning, which is what I should have done. I should have actually measured instead of just guessing. I should know by now that guessing is not, I have really bad guessing skills when it comes to trying to figure out if I have enough or not. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This will make 7. I need to get the beads off of this too. So they're starting to get in the way. Turn that off. Let the beads slip off the ends. All right. Looks like I can get maybe 2 more knots. So it's probably not going to be a full 10, but it'll be pretty darn close. Whoops. All right. It's very challenging to do this with a very short cord. Especially because you got to kind of hold it in place, but then also have room. This may not work. May have to just go with the knots that we have and pretend like we have enough, which we're doing anyways, honestly. Okay, I give up. Okay, we're gonna trim, we're gonna melt, we're gonna pretend like we did 10. It's close enough. All right, we are going to melt the end, which is another reason that I love Amiette. It's because it melts nice and clean. Okay, so now we take this off, pretending like it's all even and as long as we wanted it to be and fabulous. It's still fabulous. It's still really pretty. So I'm okay with that. All right. So now what you're going to do is you are going to take your cords, your 2 leather pieces, run those side by side, tie an overhanded knot. Right? Sure, this is a bracelet for your new kiddo. Yeah, because apparently I'm having a baby, so, you know. It's like news to me. I'm glad somebody else knows what's going on with my body out there. Thanks for telling me. I had no idea. Oh my gosh. Okay, now I'm going to add a button. I know you are. And I appreciate it because we got to just laugh about it, right? I mean, because it's so dang ridiculous. Okay, now my leather is looking to be a little big to go through this. I don't know if that's going to fit or not. I didn't take that into consideration. I'm going to cut my leather at an angle and then see if I can grab that with my pliers. I might need to swap out for another button. I didn't realize that the opening on the back of this button was so small, which is a bummer because I love this button. It's so pretty. It's going to be a really good match. Oh, it's not going to fit, but look how pretty that would have been. Triplets? Oh my gosh. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, it's definitely twins. Definitely twins. Definitely. Gosh, could you imagine if Q and I had some babies? They would be so beautiful. But I'm pretty sure I'm done with babies. So I mean, I would consider it a blessing, and I would definitely not hold on, grab my button box here. I would not be opposed. That's pretty. It's not exactly what I wanted, but it'll do. I would not be opposed. However, it's definitely not in the plans, I don't think. I mean, but you know what they say, man plans, God laughs. I just think it's funny because apparently the rumor version of me, and like I said, this is not the first rumor that has gone on in the community about me. The rumor version of me is a lot more exciting than the regular version of me. All right, so then you're going to put your button and then you're going to tie another overhanded knot to secure your button. You're a twin for real? I love that. Always wanted a twin. I don't think my mom could have handled more than one of me, though. It's probably a good thing. Probably a good thing. All right, so you tie your next knot, and then you're going to trim off your end. Okay, and then you have your button goes through your loop for your bracelet. You're teeny tiny. Look at this tiny bracelet. It cracks me up. All right, and then for the one that I had already made, I added dangle-doos because you know I love a good dangle-doo, and I just did 2 little wrapped loops with beads and then added a little charm, and I had planned on doing the same thing with this one with the exact same things. So just 2 little beads and then a charm. So for the Feel Good Friday kits, I don't know what they're going to look like yet. I haven't decided on the buttons or the colors or anything, but I don't have any small charms, so it'll probably just be bead dangles, but feel free to put on, you know, your own charms if you want to, because on these jump rings, they fit perfectly and they slide around a little bit. So there's a little bit of movement. You can actually put charms on both sides if you wanted to, but also you can pop charms. You can pop these jump rings in between your beads, so you could put them anywhere you wanted to. I just kind of liked them right there on the back, but this one was gonna be so pretty. I'm okay with this button because it's a nice tiara cast button, but I really wanted this one to work because look how pretty that would have been with that pearl colored leather. That was going to be awesome, but there is no way I could get that 2mm leather to fit through that. And I didn't even think to look at that before I started yesterday putting all of this together. So it's kind of a bummer, but any beautiful button will work that is a shank style like that. So there you go. There's our project. I hope that you guys liked it. If you are interested in grabbing one on Friday, I'm going to put some kits together, show you what those look like on Friday, and you'll need to refer back to today's project because you know, that just makes things much easier. Could I use a reamer on the button? I don't know. It's kind of an old button, and it's like just base metal. It's not real. So I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Here's my leather. I had leftover pieces of this leather. I don't know what happened to it, though. I have no idea. But let me try right here. No, I think it's still just, it's just too small. Oh, you're brilliant. You're brilliant, and I love you. Yay, I can remake it. I can make it the right size, and I can use the right button. Okay, hooray, you saved the day. Thank you for that. I would not have thought to do that because I would have been too afraid that it would have ruined the metal, because it's just, you know, it's just cheap base metal. It's probably aluminum underneath there. Brilliant. I love you. Fantastic. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right, friends, I'm going to turn you around, and I will get some pictures of these because they have not been photographed yet. That's why there wasn't a thumbnail for today's project stream. But I just want to hold up this one to show you how super cute, and it lays really nice up against you because it's flat. Even though it's made with the round leather, it's still flat. So looks really good. Fun for summer. You can make ankle bracelets out of these if you wanted to. I think that would be awesome. So yeah, hope you enjoyed today's project. I thought it was a fun one. I hope you enjoyed our little chit chat about silliness that is just silly. Please do not forget to set your reminders for Friday, 1 p.m. for our Feel Good Friday show. Hardwired, we are meeting today at 4 p.m. Eastern time for our project this week. Also, don't forget that there is a link here available if you would like to contribute to the next snack shenanigans. I would appreciate that. That'll be awesome. And as soon as I get some of those rolling in, we will actually plan that. I'm also planning a Saturday stream coming up in the very near future. It will probably be towards the end of this month. And the Saturday stream will just be something fun that we're going to do just one time. It's not going to be like every Saturday, but we are going to do a Saturday afternoon stream where we all get together and do something fun for anybody who wants to. Okay. And I will keep you posted on that as soon as I have that information ready to go. And don't forget that next week there won't be any lives, but I will remind you about that again on Friday as well. Okay. I love you guys so much. Thanks for hanging with me. Hey, Wanda, coming in on the tail. All right, everybody go. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon, and I will see some of you later. The rest of you, I'll see you on Friday. Okay. I love you. Mwah. Bye.